Born sometime in 1986 in Alaska, USA, Elliott Neese is a crab fisherman and former cast member of Deadliest Catch. The antagonistic media personality made his TV debut in 2011 and appeared in a total of 60 episodes of the reality TV series over the next few years. Despite the occasional on-screen spat, to this day, there seems to be no bad blood between Elliott and his former colleagues such as Jake Anderson, Mike Rowe, and Keith Colburn. Other affiliated projects Elliott has been part of include After the Catch, Deadliest Catch Greenhorns, and Deadliest Catch The Bait, along with a few behind-the-scenes episodes. Sadly, nothing is known about his personal dramas in his early years. There's little to no public information available regarding his family, childhood, or educational studies. However, Elliott has given the odd interview. He shared the most frightening moment of his life was when he was a greenhorn, otherwise known as a rookie crew member, that he was working with broke his neck, back, and teeth when a 50-foot wave washed over their vessel. He also touched briefly on his role as the show's bad guy, saying, "I don't appease the camera, and maybe that doesn't always come off right, but remember, reality TV isn't real. It's entertainment. That's it." Elliott's mysterious father worked as a crab fisherman in the 1970s and 80s, and at 18 years old, Elliott himself began working on a vessel named Ocean Cape. Some of the Alaskan's first memories are of crab boats, so it seems natural that he would follow in his father's footsteps and willingly take on one of the world's riskiest professions. Of course, crab fishing is an arduous and time-consuming job, meaning that Elliott can only see his two children, a son born in 2007 and daughter in 2009, a handful of days a year, or a couple of weeks if he's lucky. Valerie Gunderson, the mother of Elliott's children, filed for a temporary restraining order against the TV star in 2012, claiming that he'd been drinking, harassing her via phone calls and messages, and possibly abusing drugs. According to court documents obtained by TMZ, Elliott called Valerie up to 54 times in one evening. He also told Valerie's mother that if he couldn't have her, Valerie, nobody could. Unsurprisingly, Elliott was temporarily banned from getting in touch with his old flame. Valerie also alleged that Elliott attacked her in 2006 and, in 2010, smashed her belongings during a heated argument. The reasons behind his disturbing behavior remain unclear, but it's believed that Elliott couldn't cope with Valerie moving on in life when their relationship broke down. He would later date an attractive blonde named Ari Friedenbergs, but it's unknown if they remain together as of 2022. They aren't believed to share any children. In 2015, Elliott shocked fans by leaving his fishing vessel Saga in hands of his first mate, Jeff Folk. As it happens, the troubled crab fisherman had entered a 2-month rehab program to try to tackle his crippling drug addiction. Mere months before the incident, he'd shared his hopes of paying off his vessel, traveling the world with his family, and even writing a book. Fans were understandably heartbroken at the sudden turn of events and wished him luck on his journey. In early 2017, Elliott celebrated 90 days of sobriety, having relapsed a few months before. A daily workout regime and healthier diet made him look much better, as he'd gained 20 pounds and Deadliest Catch viewers were hoping to see him return to the show. Decker Watson, the series' executive producer, wrote in the same year, "I stand by you 100%, Elliott. I tried like hell to get you on season 13, and you know how that turned out. Maybe season 14. Keep going, El." For now, Elliott has managed to stay out of rehab and is back to doing what he loves most as a crab fisherman. He seems to have no interest in returning to TV and is quietly enjoying his family and job without the cameras and tight filming schedules. Premiering on Discovery Channel in April 2005, Deadliest Catch is a gripping reality series filmed in the Aleutian Islands of Alaska that follows crab fishermen during the Alaskan king crab and snow king fishing seasons of October and January every year. Season 18 aired in April 2022. The show is broadcast around the world and is particularly successful thanks to the down-to-earth nature of its cast members. Gale force winds, high waves, and other extreme weather conditions place the lives of fishermen and camera crews at risk. Inevitably, they're also faced with a tense work environment, plus, on occasions, spending almost the whole year away from their families. Some of the captains and greenhorns of the fleet are related, such as the Colburn and Hansen brothers, and many of them entered the industry because their fathers also worked as crab fishermen. As Alaskan crab fishing is one of the world's most perilous professions, the U.S. Coast Guard, or USCG, always provides rescue squads on call, who have stepped in and saved the day on countless occasions. During the show's first few seasons between 2005 and 2008, 3 fishing vessels were lost: the Ocean Challenger, Big Valley, and Katmai, and rescue squads saved dozens of lives from being lost out on the Bering Sea. Due to complicated and risky filming conditions, Deadliest Catch has narrators instead of on-camera hosts. Mike Rowe and Bill Petrie narrate the North American and UK broadcasts, respectively. Connecting and explaining each storyline to make things easier for viewers, there's also a mock-up radar screen that shows where each ship is positioned, and makes the switch from one vessel to another almost seamlessly. After the Catch is a behind-the-scenes miniseries in which the captains of the vessels participate in a roundtable discussion about the season's best and worst moments. The show was incorporated into the Deadliest Catch franchise from Season 3 onwards. As the show is rated TV-14 in the US, pixelization and blurring is often used to block out the commonplace profanities, injuries, and crude finger gestures common on board in such a stressful work environment. The star vessels of the show are the Northwestern and Wizard, which have been present in the series almost uninterruptedly since 2005. Although other fishing vessels and their crew members have appeared in various seasons, the Colburns and Hansons have left a lasting impression on viewers and become household names for loyal viewers of Deadliest Catch. Boasting hundreds of thousands of followers, Keith Colburn, captain of the Wizard, has become famous in the crab fishing world. The key crew members of the Wizard include Monty Colburn, his brother Tyler, and Todd Gateman, and first mate Gary Soper. Keith was born in California in March 1963 and shares 2 children with his wife Florence, whom he married sometime in the late 1980s or early 1990s. Keith began fishing at the young age of 22. With his best friend, Kurt Frankenberg, the adventurous Californian flew out to Kodiak, Alaska with little more than a tent and $50. He would join the crew of the Alaska Trader as a greenhorn, starting from the bottom and hoping to gain invaluable experience. In 1988, Keith became a full-share deckhand on the Wizard, and over the next 4 years, he would earn his 1,600-ton inspected master's and mate's licenses, effectively climbing up the ranks from deckhand to pilot. His trustiest mentor, John Jorgensen, taught him everything he knows, but would often tell Keith to trust his instincts instead of doing what everyone else did. The Jorgensens, considered pioneer commercial fishermen, are enormously respected in the industry. Keith and the Wizard have faced some trying times together, especially in 2002, when the bold captain ventured out 200 miles further north than any other fishing vessel, but riding his luck, the Californian and his crew caught a staggering 540,000 pounds of snow crab, over 400,000 pounds more than the average catch that year. Repeating his strategy 2 years later, Keith caught 400,000 pounds once again, more than the second best and average catch combined. The captain of the Wizard had been part of practically every Deadliest Catch spin-off, including TV movies and documentaries, but that doesn't mean he's not open to expanding his brand wherever he can. From public speaking to a line of dry rubs and sauces, there's nothing Keith won't try at least once, if it means potentially making more money. Captain Keith's Catch, Keith's Sauce Line, has surprisingly proved itself to be popular. As it happens, Keith's first job was as a saucier in a French restaurant when he was only 14 years old. Eventually, he would become sous chef, then executive chef, working in various establishments before trying his luck at crab fishing. As for the Hansons of the FV Northwestern, Captain Sig and his brother Norman are formidable figures in their own right. The latter is the ship's deckhand and engineer, whereas Mandy, Sig's daughter, is a captain in training and her husband Clark is still a greenhorn. Sig and Norman's descendants include many tenacious Norwegian fishermen, and they themselves grew up in the environment. Engineers of the grueling Opilio crab fishing trade, Sig and Norman's grandfather and great-grandfather figured out how to earn money all year round from crab fishing, instead of a mere few months a year. At the age of 14, Sig joined his father's boat and made it his full-time job after matriculating from high school. After his 22nd birthday, he became a relief skipper and spent 10 months a year in Alaska. Some of his tasks were doing short-haul stints on other boats and relieving the Northwestern's captains. 2 years later, Sig would be running the Northwestern full-time. To date, the fishing vessel boasts no deaths at sea and a lower serious injury rate compared to other vessels, making for an impeccable safety record. In 2005 and 2006, the Northwestern was in first place in the show's final derby seasons, catching the highest amount of both Opilio and king crab. Not one to be outdone, Sig has his own successful brand which includes books and TV interviews. He co-wrote the New York Times bestseller, North by Western, a seafaring family on deadly Alaskan waters in 2010, and even hoped to participate in other reality shows such as Dancing with the Stars after a successful interview on Jay Leno's Tonight Show. In September 2010, Sig shocked fans by announcing his departure from Deadliest Catch. It's believed that his contract negotiations didn't go the way he would hope, leading to him stepping away from the show in a fit of pique. However, just a month later, he agreed to return to the show for its 7th season. Other TV gigs include his participation in The Celebrity Apprentice and voiceover work on the animated children's film Cars 2. As is to be expected in such a fast-paced work environment, many cast members of Deadliest Catch have passed away since it first aired in 2005. The death of Captain Phil Harris from a massive stroke, aged 53, was particularly heartbreaking, and is remembered by cast members and viewers over a decade on. The death of the Cornelia Mary's former captain Tony Lara eerily echoes Phil's. Tony suffered a massive heart attack in his sleep, and died of a stroke aged 50. Meanwhile, mysterious circumstances surround the death of Justin Tennyson and Blake Painter, who were aged 33 and 38 when they passed away. Days after returning from sea, Justin died alone in an Alaskan hotel room due to sleep apnea complications, whereas Blake, the former captain of the Maverick, is said to have accidentally overdosed and being found dead at home. It's interesting to note that no official cause of death was announced regarding Blake's demise. In December 2020, the cast of Deadliest Catch again lost one of their own. Nick McLashan passed away of a drug overdose at the age of 33. Captain Bill Wichrowski was one of the first people to hear of his friend's death, and took the news especially hard. A tribute episode was dedicated to Nick, who was born in Tennessee, and is survived by his 2 young children. Nick's family and every cast member who appeared in the season participated in the farewell to the deck boss. Flare guns were fired off in his memory, and his hook was thrown into the ocean one last time. However tragic, Nick's passing didn't come as a shock to everyone. He skipped filming for the show's 13th season after checking into rehab and battled heroin, alcohol, and meth addictions over the course of his brief life. It remains unclear if Nick was with the mother of his children at the time of his death. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.